today's topic is very interesting and I'm very passionate about it. We've obviously heard this say what a man can do, a woman can do better. So now I'm really coming to have this conversation. Can a woman truly do everything that a man can do? And can a man do everything that a woman can do? Can these two genders, male and female, a man and a woman, ever be equal? Because let us really take our time and think about this thing. Because our feminist sisters are everywhere on the internet here, equal rights, equal rights. Can everything truly be equal between man and woman? And then where should the equal rights be and where should they not be? Because this whole feminist movement, all these things about fighting for the female right has taken a rather absurd turn, for lack of better term. Like now, people in the women in the marital homes now are fighting their husbands. They head. They are fighting to be the head. Women are fighting to wear the pants in the relationship because of equal rights. Is that what it means? And I'm going to be honest. I'm a woman, Sha. So what I might say might shock many women, but this is what I think. I personally don't want to do what a man can do. I don't know about you, but I don't think God made a mistake to make me a woman. Being a woman is hard, especially the fact that always on social media that we have our the female body is a lot to deal with. You only have like 1 week or like 5 days of rest before you have your menses, your ovulation. So many things happen to your body. It's not easy. You have to carry children, you have to nurse children, you have to build a home. So many things. Being a woman is not easy by any means. It's not easy. But do you think it is easy being a man? Do you think that a man's stress is like men have their own wahalas? Do you know the pressures that sit on a man? Many of us women just open our mouths that we should be equal men, should be equal men. I don't want to be a man. I am happy being a woman. I am a working woman. My mother taught me to be independent, to find a job for myself and not rely on my husband, but to be a supportive wife. Like two of us are coming together to build our home together. But I'm not trying to be his equal. There cannot be two heads on one body. So what are we doing? If the men, all these women that I say, oh, want to be equal men, want to be equal men, all these things like, but then you go out to restaurant and like, oh, the man should pay the bills. Oh, my boyfriend should be sending me money. Oh, my husband should be giving me money. Or husband should be paying the bills of the house. My husband, I'll move it to my husband's house. But then we're the ones that disrespect men with the things that we say. Like this whole feminist thing is really chilling when you think that our children are going to come into a world where there is this toxic femininity. Even when it comes to the job side, honestly speaking, I don't think that it can be truly equal. Honestly, let's take for example, okay, there is a man and there's a woman that are top performing, but then this woman is pregnant. She gets pregnant, and then there is a job overseas. As a boss, I will send the man over the woman, not because she does not deserve it, but because it makes no sense for me to separate the woman from her family. I can easily separate a man from his family, and the family will be okay because the woman is there. But do you think a man can easily compensate the woman's absence? Do you think the woman herself will be mentally okay as she's away from her kids and her husband? I feel like we women are so homely and so community built that it is very difficult for us to stay away from our families. We always want our family, we always want to be with our kids, with our husbands, with our friends, with our parents. It's not easy for us to just be sent to another country. So truly, we cannot be equal in the job side. There are certain things that as a boss, I would send a man to do that I will not send a woman to do. I'm not doubting that she can be strong enough to do it. I just will not put her in that situation, and it's okay. It's okay. Now I understand, like in certain Muslim communities where girls are not allowed to go to school, I get why you will fight for equality for girls to be able to go to school because it makes no sense. They always say when you educate a woman, you educate a whole nation, a whole village, a whole community. Because she's a nurturer, whatever wisdom she has, she always automatically shares it to her children because she always spends time with her children. There are so many women that have shared their stories of how they were away from their families and they dealt with so much depression because it's not in our nature to be away from community. It is not in our nature, but a man can function by him. You can tell a man that tomorrow you are traveling, and he'll be like, okay. He'll take his small backpack and boom, he has gone. But a woman has to make sure that she has cooked the meals. If there's no house help, she has to look for somebody to hire that she can trust. Excuse me. And as someone that has not had children yet, I don't think it will be easy for me to trust my children in another woman's hand or in somebody else's hand because of the things that we see online of people maltreating other people's children. It's chilling to the bone. Like we women carry so much guilt to be away from our kids that it limits us. We need to be able to accept the fact that women, we have limits, especially when you start having kids and you start having a family. You are limited. There is only so much you can do. It's easy for a woman to follow her husband and travel to another country. But do you think that it will be easy for the woman to convince her husband to leave his job and follow her to another place because she wants to get this job but still keep her family by her? Do you think it will be easy? But it will be easy for a man to be like, okay, I found this job. For the sake of the family as the head, it is normal that the body will follow the head. But the head does not follow the body. And so I feel like we need to really be honest with ourselves. The genders cannot be equal. I understand, I believe that a woman can be an engineer, you can be a mechanic, you can be a washerman, you can be a doctor, a nurse. I believe that men can be hairdressers, seems tailors. Like I believe that each occupation, each gender can do any occupation that they wish. But even in those occupations, there are limits. They can truly, even in the engineering, a man and a woman cannot be equal. They can't. Honestly, and I don't understand why we cannot accept that and be contented. Like it is okay to not be able to do everything. It is okay. Like why are we trying to be men when we haven't even fully understood what it is to be a woman? We haven't fully grasped it. We have not nurtured ourselves to be the fullest versions of ourselves. Like there's so many women walking out there that don't even know themselves, but they are fighting to be equal with men. You have not even tapped into the power of a woman. You don't even know what power you carry. You don't know, but you're eyeing the male gender. Like, are we serious here? And the same thing goes with the male gender because they see that we have a lot of power. Now they are transgending to be women. Isn't that funny? It's so funny that men now are trying to be women. Meanwhile, we have spent years of our lives fighting to be men, fighting to be equal, whatever that means. Like, where has have the days when we were submissive? And I watched a video where they said submission is not weakness. A person that submits is a very powerful person. The person has free will, the person has power. For example, like the woman gave an example that if she wants to travel for a vacation in the US And she has the ability, like she works, so she has the money to fund the trip and everything. So she does not even need a kobo from her husband. But her husband says, no, don't travel now. Wait first. And she decides to stay. That is submission. Because she could go. And that's why God asks us to submit, because He gave us free will to do otherwise. We have the right to not do what He asks us to do. But when you are able to take that free will and still do what He tells you to do, that now is submission. So submission is not weakness. But for so long, me inclusive, I always saw submission as weakness. And they always say, like, women, choose the head that you follow. If you are under a man that has sense, you will trust him enough to be submissive. It doesn't mean you don't give your opinion, but you let him be the one that takes the decision at the end of the day as the man and as the head of the family. He is the roof and you are the pillar. No matter how strong the pillar is, if there is no roof, the house is useless. You cannot stay in such a house. So can they truly be equality between man and woman? I don't even know if God ever wanted us to be equal. Honestly, I don't think so. And it should be okay. We should celebrate the men that are doing well. And the men should celebrate the women that are doing well. Like, I personally will not want to put my job above my family, because once I get married, my husband becomes top priority over any job. I will not accept a job that will take me far away from him. And he cannot follow, my kids cannot follow. Why? What then is the essence? I don't know when I would die. So why am I forgoing the most important connections, the most important things in my life, people in my life, for a job? Just because I'm trying to prove that what a man can do, a woman can do better. And same thing as men. Men cannot nurture like the way a woman can nurture. God gave us wombs and gave us instincts to nurture. That's why we are helpers. We are not the ones that build. We're the ones that come to help the thing that has been built to grow. If you have a one story something, we are there to bring it to a 3-story house. That is why there's some men that have good wives, that have doubled their profit. They're looking fresh in their marriage. Their homes are blooming. Their businesses are blooming. You will say a man, when he was single, he had just one shop. But 5 years, 10 years into marriage, he has 10 shops. And his wife is the accountant. The wife holds him accountable. The workers accountable. That is a woman that is submissive, that understands her role and respects it. She's not trying to be her husband. But she makes sure that the role that God gave her, she excels in it. I know that we have been suppressed for so long that we're trying to carve out our own place in the world. So, men, you need to help the women. You need to help the women stay women. You need to help us to stay in our feminine energy. And stop pushing us to be competing with you. And women, be contented being women. Men, be contented being men. Stop transgending to be women. Stop. It is okay to be a man. Be a man. And know as a man is hard. But stay a man. God made you a man. He empowered you enough to handle the stress of being a man. So stay there. I know for you, we may be having it easy, but don't be us. I beg. You can never be us. All this transgender, you cannot get a womb, even if you cut off the penis and make a vagina. It will never function. You have no womb, no child can ever come out of you. You will never be pregnant. So don't fool yourself. Let's stop lying on social media that a transgender man, whatever woman, can give birth. She can get pregnant. How? How? You don't even have the capacity to carry a child. How? How? ah. So anyway, I'll end this debate here, but I'm open up to here. If you really think that there can truly be equality, share your side. But honestly, I don't think that there can be equality. If anything, both sexes have to strive for synergy. We should not be identical. God made us to be complementary. The same way as bread goes with butter. We are supposed to be complementary. You understand? Like a phone needs a charger. You get? So we are complementary beings and not identical. We are two different beings. Let's stop trying to be so. It's like a dog trying to be a cat. Forget that we are all on 2 feet. We are different. We are very different beings. A man is not a woman. Forget that thing that we are the way we are. We are two different species and things. And God gave us different roles and empowered us to be able to carry those roles. He has equipped women to be women and men to be men. And I believe that the society is in chaos now because women are trying to be men and men are trying to be women. So we have both forgotten our roles. Let us respect our roles and strive for synergy. Support women, support your men, encourage the men to be men. There are so many men that have been emasculated. They can't take decisions from themselves because the women in their lives have emasculated them. You bully your husband, you bully your boyfriend, you will just bully. And the man stops being able to be a man because you are now wearing the pants and then you start complaining that I need a manly man because what I have is not a man. But now you cause I'm no. And then you, the man now, you have a woman that is operating a masculine energy and like, oh, I need somebody more feminine. Have you been masculine enough so that she reverts to her feminine defaults? So let us strive for synergy. Let us tell ourselves the truth. In fact, this podcast is about telling yourself the truth. But again, my opinion, I beg, don't come for me. But come for me, Sha. I'll still answer you. But don't come for me. Q&A to be available for you to for you to answer and give your own opinion on this topic. Again, I say if you don't take anything from this, men and women should strive to be complementary, should strive for synergy. We have come to the end of today's episode, and as always, thank you for watching to the end. Do not forget to comment, like, and subscribe. See you in our next episode. Bye.